I want to welcome Jade Wilkins, the founder of Fit for Life and author. She is a fitness instructor. She is um, a health guru and how to create your life just for yourself in a healthy way. And I'm creating this video, this interview, because I want you to understand that it's about who do you want to be starts with self-care for yourself. So I'm going to have this amazing conversation with Jade to have her explain to you her journey in what she's created in this world. And not only has she written a book, Fit for Life, but she's also has her own, she called it a fitness boutique. A fitness boutique, meaning that you are coming in, and she'll give you more details, to work on all of yourself, not just one part of yourself. So this is going to be an amazing conversation that I'm excited to have with Jade in her journey and her passion. So just like you chose health and wellness as an area where you wanted to solve a problem and have a solution. So for now, I'm going to start by having Jade just introduce yourself, and then we'll start chatting.
Hi guys, my name is Jade Wilkins. I'm the CEO of Fit for Life Movement, and yes, I just opened up a location, my first location, and uniquely there, people are able to really take a look, work on, in other words, their whole selves. It's not just about fitness, so it's more than just moving your body. It's about the way you think. It's the way you fuel your body, nutrition, in other words. And it's about self-care, which is relaxation, taking time for yourself. So my fitness boutique is all about 5 elements, something that I coined focus on the 5. And that's really what my book is all about. I wanted to create a safe space where people could really connect and work on those areas, because I recognize that those 5 elements, which are spirit, thought, fuel, fitness, and relaxation, that they truly are the key to living a healthier and whole life.
Nice. I am so excited because Jade and I go way back. We go back around 7 years.
Yeah.
We worked for the same organization, and we connected and created a curriculum for elementary school kids on fitness. And remember, we use, what was it, body, mind,
Yep.
and soul.
And yep. Yeah.
Body, mind, and soul. That was the curriculum, the concept. So so all the young people spoke about their soul. They spoke about their body health and also the mind. So I had such an amazing experience with her and creating this space for young people that I brought her back to work with me on the youth empowered ideas empowered by youth curriculum for health and wellness. So Jade, I want to start with, what's your story? Why did you choose health and wellness? What had you get to this point and create your whole world around making a difference with health and wellness?
I always like to say, because it's the truth, that it chose me. And that's why I know that I was supposed to be in health and wellness, because that was not on my radar. But of course, a lot of times you're on your journey, life journey, and you don't even realize that you're doing those things. So when I was younger, I was always athletic. Running track was my favorite sport, and still love to run. So I was doing things already that was connected in this bigger thing that would happen down the line. And I remember, just a short story, when I was in like middle school or high school, I can't remember which one it was, I wanted to run track. But my mom, for whatever reason, she didn't really want me to do that sport or any sport or whatever it may be. And she was talking to my grandfather about it, and he chimed in and said, you know, she has good grades, let the girl run. And that's where it kind of started, because I was running around my house. I would run summer track, and I wanted to continue in middle school and high school as well. And so I just kept running. And then even when I was out of elementary, middle, and high school, I started to run in college. Initially, I was going to run there. So it just kind of connected there. Even though I stopped, I was going to run in college. Even though I didn't, I kind of transitioned into radio, becoming an on-air personality. I continued this journey of moving my body. So I would exercise on my own and really developing my skills as a dancer. I was a late bloomer as a dancer, not the traditional story. I did not start as a little girl. I started as a teenager, like 18, 19 years old. So I minored in dance at North Carolina A&T State University.
Nice.
And I went to a neighboring school that had a really good modern dance program, North Carolina University at Greensboro. So I was going to both schools. I was in communications at A&T, and then I was minor in dance. Pretty much you could say across the street, not technically, but very close. And, you know, in their dance program, because they were known for that. So I ended up getting my minor in dance, then my, you know, main degree in communications. And through that process, through dance, I mention it because you learn so much about your body, about health, how you move in a space. So ballet became a big piece of what I was doing, but I continued to run, and, you know, that interest of what exercise was, because, you know, initially I had very little knowledge. Even though I ran track in school, you know, you still have a lot to learn in that area. And then that really brought up the area of nutrition, because to be a great dancer, you need to understand how to fuel your body properly. So dancing as a ballerina and taking those opportunities with that, and then continuing to run, and then understand the importance of just standard exercise. Ultimately, all of that brought me to where I am today. I'm in a different direction, but all of those things laid a foundation to what being healthy and whole is all about.
So tell me, what was it that had you decide to, because I met you and we were both employed with other people. Now we're
Yeah.
self-employed.
Yeah.
We have our own company. So what had you decide that you were the one to create a company that was going to make a difference?
This is actually my second business. My first business was Jade Promotions. I always had that entrepreneur spirit, which I think I kind of got that just from a couple of different directions. My father, my grandfather, they all had their own businesses. So it was always in me. So even when I was a college student, I started my business then, and I would work for record labels because I was in communication and go out and promote and market. So I'm always working on something. That's something that I'm always working on something. I'm doing one thing, but I'm working on this idea. So I started to learn about being that entrepreneur. I didn't know what that was, to be a business owner or entrepreneur. I just knew that people would follow me. And if I said something, people would go along with it. But I didn't know what that meant, what that was. So even in college, I had a group of people that worked for me, and we would go promote. And then I started to connect. Oh, that's what that is. You have leadership skills. You know what I mean? So it just kind of grew and developed from that point.
Nice, nice. So, going through our own journey, we always go through some challenges. So could you share with us a challenge? What was the challenge that you overcame to get you to where you are now? What was one of the biggest challenges?
You're right. There are lots of challenges. I would say just a general challenge for a lot of us is financial literacy. I didn't know anything about saving, that concept. In my prior employment, you certainly didn't get paid a lot. I worked for a nonprofit. So navigating, how do you take this little and sustain, and then have ideas to kind of do things for yourself? That was a process. So I definitely encourage the younger you are to get an understanding of that, the better. That's something that I lacked. And that was a challenge without me recognizing that was a challenge, that financial literacy piece. Because
Mhm.
if you want to be a business owner in whatever industry, and there are lots of industries and you can be successful, you have to have that financial literacy piece. And for me, I didn't get that until I was an adult. And that's for
Mm.
sure.
I remember having a conversation with you about charging people and charging for your worth, your
Yes.
value. I struggle with that myself, just understanding that I could charge someone for a service that I'm providing. And I
Yeah.
would, in the beginning, I used to aim very low.
Yeah.
And I remember having this conversation with you saying, no, let's raise some prices here. Let's your value, your worth is what you got to put out there. I've seen you grow for so much, but thank you so much for speaking about the financial aspect of it, because this is something that we're not taught in school. So
Mm-mm.
this is a place where we have to learn as young as 10,
I'm telling you.
9, kindergarten.
Hey, I'm telling
We
you,
need
as
to
soon as you
learn the
start
value of
counting,
money.
yes, how to save. Yep.
How to say, could you think of an incident or situation that you were in that your mindset told you that you're not valued enough, and that you overcame?
Um, I would just say working for others. First of all, I think people make the mistake of thinking I should just start my own business, but you have to learn the skill. So part of the process is working for someone else. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to that rule, but to really learn the craft so that you won't lose money later because you don't know really what you're doing. Um, it's important to work for others, but in that process, even though you learn, you also it becomes very clear how much you are valued. And value, bottom line, does come down or is reflected in your salary and how much you're getting
Mhm.
paid for something. People can say they value you, but what does that really mean when we talk about in a professional setting? In a professional setting, bottom line, that's how much you're getting paid. That's the benefits. That's different when we're talking about personal relationships.
Mhm.
But professionally, when you work for others, the monetary piece is part of that. Um, and you take the good. So I took the experiences, but I recognize that I was not going to be able to live a quality life. And
Mhm.
all people are the same. They want a pursuit of happiness. People want to at least live comfortably. Don't get me wrong. Some people want to go beyond that. That's more of a personal preference thing, but we definitely want to live comfortably. And you can't do that when financially you're bound. Now, what I certainly learned in that piece of financial literacy, you can save even when you had a little. That was a hard concept for me. However, there's limitations to that. Even though you can still save, when you don't make any money, most of it is gobbled up in the living piece of it. So that was certainly, a realization that I came to, and recognizing, okay, I have the skills, I have the experience. Now I can do this on my own. But again, a lot of people want to skip that part, but what happens when you skip that part, you end up being interdependent to someone else because you don't really know what you're doing. So there's value working in that industry. And also there's compassion. So once you do move up, you know what it takes, you know what it feels like. So
Yeah.
that definitely was a challenge for me during that process, thinking that I had to be bound, I needed to work for someone, and really coming to the understanding that in that particular system, I was not going to live a quality life.
Yeah.
And I do believe that everybody should have an opportunity to live a quality life. And that bottom line, connected with that, is that monetary piece of how much you are receiving in order to have a quality life.
So it's interesting because we're talking about health and wellness, careers and passion, but
Mhm.
you're very clear talking about your mindset had to shift to set your value and decide, I'm going to work for others, learn the skills that I need to develop myself, but my goal is to work for myself
That's
because
correct.
I want to increase my quality of life. So we teach our young people about the health triangle. And the health triangle speaks about mental health, physical health, and social health.
Yeah.
And you kind of put it all together because your mental health was really valuing yourself enough to know that you were in the process of growing while you were working for others in order for you to transition mentally and valued to learn the finances to go and work for yourself,
That's
right?
correct.
And then the social health was all about working for others.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It's part of the process.
Speak a little bit more about that social health.
Yeah, it's part of the process. And I think some people naturally are just entrepreneurs, but again, kind of like myself, you don't even recognize that that's what you are.
Mhm.
And it still takes you time to get to the point of saying, this is something that I want to do independently, that I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then you have some who always wanted to do it on their own, but there's still a process and a value of being connected to others to learn and to grow, right? Because ultimately that will make you better. And through this process, I remember when I was working in my place of employment, again, I'm always doing something. I would come home and I would work on what is now focused on the five: spirit, thought, fuel, fitness, and relaxation. And I would just start sitting down, writing it out. And this is way before, you know what I mean? This was just kind of a thought to have my own business. And I remember going home. I was living in Connecticut, but going home for the Christmas season in North Carolina and sitting down at the table and say, "Oh, Mom, how do you think that sounds?" And just kind of going. So I was developing this business that wasn't really going to happen anytime soon, but I was working on it because I'm always working on something.
Right.
Because I started to really understand then that it was more than about moving your body,
Mhm.
that these pieces that you mentioned, these pieces really create being the best that you are, and all of them are important. Physical health isn't more important than mental health. Mental health isn't more important. Like, you need all these
All of
things.
them.
You do,
Yes.
but guess what? You'll never be at a place of perfection. But if you're aware that they're all important and you're working towards it, it's work in progress. You'll have moments of, oh, I got this, it's coming, it's coming. But you'll have ups and downs. That's part of your wellness journey, which is part of your
Mhm.
life journey on this earth.
Yes. Yes. So you had a vision and you had thoughts, but by the process of putting it down on paper
Yep.
and moving it and continuing to just work it out, asking people for their opinion, it was not only a one sit down. It
It
was,
was not. It was not.
yeah.
It was not. I would have never thought I would be at the place that I am now. I had thoughts. It's so funny. You kind of go back and forth in the process. At one point, I really wanted to work for a company, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody isn't geared or designed or wants to work for themselves. So entrepreneurship isn't for everyone.
Yes.
And you can also be a great entrepreneur and use that skill
Entrepreneur.
set and work for someone else too.
Yeah.
So it's more than one way. So one isn't right or wrong for sure.
Yeah.
But in the process, like you said, I really started to develop this and started writing on it. And I started writing out my goals. I want to do this and that. And writing out your goals doesn't mean that it's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe not 5 years later. Write them out, start working on the process, and they will come when they're supposed to.
Yes.
Kind of like writing the book. That writing the book definitely wasn't on my list, but when the timing was right and I was supposed to write a book, it was like, yeah, I'm supposed to write the book, and it's about all this research that I've been doing this whole time.
I'm so glad that you brought up your book because I want to give you some time to share your book and how I know this book doesn't have no age target. Anyone
That's correct.
could pick up this book. And I want to emphasize that in this curriculum for health and wellness for young people, from anywhere from second graders, we've seen second graders take on this concept to, to high schoolers. The whole idea is for you to find an area that you want to be a peer educator. You want to find a specific target that you want to make a difference with other peers. So other second graders or other fifth graders or other teenagers. So as you're thinking through where you want to be, where you want to make this target, I want Jade to show you what she created, what her book was. And so she was a lead, she was an influencer in this area way before she wrote the book.
That's right. That's correct.
So I want you to know that it's a process.
It's
So all you got to do is start somewhere. And this is
Yes.
what this course is about. I want you to start somewhere. So Jade, could you share with us your book?
Yes. So this is the thing, right? Part of what I do, I'm a fitness coach. You're not going to be able to coach everyone, that's for sure. And I wanted to give people a guide for those who were ready, who wanted to live a healthy and whole life, but were lacking direction, where to start. This is something that is tangible. It's a guide that they could take along with them and to help them along on that journey. It was important for me to expand my blueprint, in other words, right? Mm-hmm. You have a very small window vicinity that you can impact in your local community when it's just about that physical one-on-one. But with the book, that's something that people can order and can have with them. Even better when they can do electronically and put it on their Kindles or whatever that electronic device is. And now, to me, one of the bright spots of COVID is what we're doing right now, something we definitely didn't see. I mean, never did we see this, but we can do this interview. I can connect with you like this. And now I'm able to provide fitness coaching, nutrition coaching via Zoom. It's all about being comfortable when there's so much going on today with COVID and different sorts of variants, that we can still move forward in regards to our whole health. We can still work on those things with these tools. And ultimately, you're touching more people, because for me, I am purpose, what I learned in this process. Because one thing I missed, I didn't say to you guys, was really important. I prayed to God about what is my purpose. And I think most people get to this point in their lives. What am I supposed to do? You might realize some things that you're kind of good at or that you enjoy, or maybe you're still figuring that out too. And God made it very clear to me what my purpose was, and it was health and wellness. And again, I was doing little pieces with this, but I hadn't connected it up. And I just think for me, because that wasn't on my list, I really wanted to do more with communications, but now I see how that even connects up to what I'm doing today. But I was more the communicator, PR, marketing. That wasn't on my short list, to the point that I remember being in college, and there was a college of exercise science on our campus. And when I found out, I was like, what building is that? And they do what? Exercise. I couldn't believe that people would waste their parents' money on exercise. At that time, exercise was something you definitely did for yourself. It wasn't a perfection. So going to college for exercise, it's funny what you remember. And I was supposed to remember that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I would never do something like that. That's for you personally. And now it's an industry, and I get why it is, because when you're healthy and whole, that's going to help you to live your best life, to do the things that you individually are purposed to do. And my purpose is to keep people in healthy and whole, and that helps them to find their purpose or to fulfill their purpose.
We would love to see your book. If you have a chance, could you share your screen?
Yes. So, all right. And you can see this.
Oh, great.
Okay, so this is the website, and you know me oh too well. You've seen this website at different levels. So
And a whole
we've
different,
come
it's beautiful.
we've come full circle with this website. But I'll go to the book.
And as you're doing that, one of the things that Jade is talking about it is that we've been having this conversation about, you know, business for what, 7 years now, right? So
Right.
we've seen the evolvement. The same thing with
Yes.
my website. It's just not perfect the first time, or
Right.
it's perfect for that moment,
For that
but then
moment.
you find a reason to keep adjusting. So remember, as you're creating and you're thinking about how you're going to make a difference to your peers, visuals is very important, and the website is critical for your exposure if you want to be an influencer. So
Absolutely.
go ahead, share with us.
So this is the book, Focus on the Five and Unleash Your Lifestyle of Wellness. And then from the website, of course, they can click on a link and go right to Amazon to get it. And again, it really opens your mindset. If you're not aware of how critical, vital these elements are, first of all, it breaks down these 5 elements.
Yeah.
And then
let's
it
go
gives
back to the
ways.
website.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah, I think you could just click on
There you go.
Done.
And what the book does, it breaks down the elements and then gives you examples of how you can improve in these areas. Once you become aware of the importance, then what can I do? First, you weren't even aware. So awareness, first step. Then, okay, what are some practical things that I can do so that I can try to maintain this balance? We're always shooting for a balance. And half of it is just being the knowledge, right? Of being aware of these things are important, and then being able to apply that and make it real in your life. So ultimately, you are well. That's what we want to get you to, a point of well-being, a good place there.
So if you were going to start somewhere and developing a habit for wellness, where would be your first place to start?
You know what? It's so funny because, again, I believe that all the elements are important. Start wherever it is most practical or convenient for you. So maybe it's something, because none of these things are too small. It's a start and they add up. Maybe it's just incorporating drinking more water. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something that simple. Maybe it's about making sure that you do something for yourself, because you find yourself always doing something for others. That's that part of that relaxation. It's just taking these small things, doing something small and connecting them up and building consistency in those things. Maybe it's about, hey, you know, I think I'm interested in moving my body. And now, because of the internet, you don't have to go to a physical gym. There are lots of free videos right online that you can watch and follow, and you'll feel better in doing all of these things. And then that's going to encourage you to do the next thing.
Just keep adding, adding, especially
Absolutely.
when you have a habit already established, like drinking water. So you remove the soda, the sugar from your juices, and now you're drinking more water. You reduced your sugar in your drinks. Now you could pick up and add something to that. It's like a building block, right?
Absolutely.
You keep building on it, and it's more like a lifestyle than,
it is totally about that.
Meeting a target of, I need to lose certain weight or I need to look better. It's more, I want to be a healthy person.
A healthy person is a lifestyle change, and the book gives you practical, principles in how you can actually do that so that you're not overwhelmed. And then that's just what you do. It's just your life. Absolutely.
Nice. So Jade, I am so happy that we've had this conversation, and it's really an opportunity for young people to see the process it took you to get to where you are now, and you're still very much growing. You have still a lot of ambitions and growth where you want to get to. I heard you say my first location. So I totally see the expansion. And so it's totally moving to hear your story and for us to understand how to what it means to, nice. So what it means to be an influencer, to be your own self-generating person, that you have a vision, you want to make an impact, and you build on that. You kept building on your strengths, from just talking to people to helping people fitness wise. Now it's nutrition, personal coach. I've seen you do group on Facebook. You have group workouts
Yes.
outside,
Yes.
and now you have a brick and mortar. Now you have a
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's not that you're automatically going to be a sensation. Is
Right.
that you have a passion to make a difference with other people, which will be
Yes.
your peers. And
Yes.
everybody here wants to make a difference with their peers. And you keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking as it keeps evolving and evolving and evolving. And at the same time, you have to develop yourself. You
Absolutely.
have to
Absolutely.
learn. You have to, learn new skills and learn coaching skills and communication skills. It's not just about being a fitness person. It's
No.
about, how do you talk to people, develop the relationships around you. And then also, you brought up financial management. You had to
Yeah.
change your mindset in order for you to be here. So all of these are so valuable lessons that we could share with our young people. So what would be one, what I would say, what would you tell our young people that are interested in being influencers around health and wellness? What would be one thing that you want to leave them with?
Consistency is the most important thing. Um, there's so much on social media. You just have to be consistent in the process. And social media certainly isn't your first step. Learn what it means to be well. Figure out your specialty and your direction in health and wellness, because it's a vast field. Start in one place. Even though you're interested in all of it, start in one place. Learn that, become knowledgeable, do it well. Then you start to move over to other things. And that's still a process, right?
Mhm.
I'm currently in school to be a registered dietitian, but I also run my own business. So that's not going to happen overnight. That's a process. I actually took this semester off so I can just work on the opening of the business. So that's going to be part of the process. I'm still on that journey, but again, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to figure it out, how to keep that balance. So find one area you're interested in and learn it in and out, become knowledgeable of that, and then see where that kind of directs you, because maybe you're a specialty of one particular thing. And then in time you branch over, or maybe not at all. It's just a huge field. So be consistent in that.
Thank you. That's such a great message. And clearly is, the consistency of building your own skills, building your own knowledge, and keep going out there and trying it out. Try it
Yes.
out. Practice it on other people. Get feedback
Yes.
from your peers to say, did it work for you? Did you like it? Did it make a benefit? Was it valuable? So this is amazing. I'm going to say that Jade is part of our partners for Ideas by Youth, and you will see her in the symposium for sure. So as you keep creating your program to teach your peers something about health and wellness, you want to make a difference with health and wellness in your peers, Jade is available to support you
Absolutely.
and giving you suggestions and tips. So please plan to be part of the symposium. And all the best to every single one of you that believe that health and wellness is the beginning of having a better world for all of us. And thank you,
Absolutely.
Jade. This has
Welcome.
been amazing. I am so looking forward to our next interview, and I'll
Absolutely.
see you in the symposium.
All right. Thank you.